Paladin, and against other mid-range decks. But then you have the other choice of an Owl, which I feel is a little stronger against Hunter because it's just another turn 2 play that you could use in addition to Fire War Axe, Armor Smith, and Cruel Taskmaster. You just give yourself more options against the Hunter class.
Yeah, to negate the early snowballs that sometimes get created just on the back of small minions that cost them almost nothing. Wow, the Golden Warrior actually, like all the cards seem to be gilded up so far.
Yeah. Fortunately, he did not start as player 2, so we don't know if he could have the golden coin.
We couldn't see that. Well, Lifecoach definitely doesn't have his, that's for sure. Alright, so the hand of Lifecoach here, he kept Dr. Boom from the mulligan.
He did, wow.
Yeah, he actually did keep the Dr. Boom from the mulligan. And I believe True Silver Champion, unless I'm mistaken and I didn't see it.
Oh wow, piloted Sky Golem. That just means what? Oh my god, did you see that? Hosty took almost the full turn for his turn 1, and Lifecoach immediately passed. Lifecoach did not rope on turn 1. That's extremely surprising.
Well, as you said, you know, he took forever to pick his classes, so maybe he just thought the entire game plan through already. Maybe he has a new strategy now. He just plans the entire game ahead of time, and it's all done.
Yeah, this is a difficult turn for Hosty. He's going to armor up and pass.
Bluffing the Armor Smith, I think, by hovering over his cards and pretending like he's had a choice.
I mean,
in a specific case.
If you have the Armor Smith against Warrior and Turtoon, you're probably going to play it, so...
Yeah, but it's just...
Not that big of a bluff. Piloted Shredder. This is kind of a new type of warrior that we're seeing from Hosty. Kit Kat's actually played this, I believe, probably this exact deck in the ESL series. It has more minions. It's more minion focused with 2 piloted Shredders. It also has Sneeds, Kel'Thuzad to revive all these Death Rattle minions.
Yeah,
and just basically a new style to play warrior. As we saw with Kalento last series, he tailored his sort of Warlock Demon deck to be anti-BGH. It didn't run any minions that were 7 attack or more. This is kind of Warrior's answer to that. I'm not going to run Alexstrasza or Ragnaros, anything that has 7 attack.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at a board where I think Hosty indicates that he doesn't have Whirlwind, just by virtue of using his War Axe to clear the 1/1. He indicates that there is no Whirlwind coming up on the follow-up turn. Or if there is one, then he doesn't want to, you know, he wants to clear up his turn 4's mana to play a 4-drop.
I think, yeah, he's kind of just at the same time just setting up for the 4-drop. He knows he probably wants to play the Piloted Shredder on turn 4, so he won't be able to get the Fire War Axe out right now.
Yeah, and Lifecoach can glean some information as to what he has to do here. Now, with the Fire War Axe developed, I mean, Piloted Shredder is not nearly as appealing.
Oh yeah, definitely not. It's definitely Lifecoach is definitely gonna consider that the Fire War Axe is on the field, and I feel like because he kept the Dr. Boom in his opening hand, Lifecoach will probably play this a little slower than normal. Yeah, as you see, Hero Power and Pass. He doesn't need to get out tempo. He doesn't need to make tempo plays. He just wants to set himself up so that he can maybe do a pretty good turn 6 Dr. Boom.
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, there's a good argument to be made for that, considering just how good his hand is. I mean, he can negate threats very easily. He's got 2 weapons that he can use on, you know, mid-range minions that come out. Pilot Sky Golem on turn 6 if necessary. If he has to use his coin preemptively, can make it, you know, drop on turn 5 if he wants to delay the Dr. Boom. And right now, I mean, the options of Hosty are, you know, the Cruel Taskmaster play on the 1/1 is, you know, semi-relevant because you do keep the weapon, but Lifecoach is forcing Hosty to use his second weapon charge to remove the 1/1 if he doesn't have Cruel Taskmaster.
I don't know how much of a force it is because I wouldn't feel too threatened by this 1/1 with my Piloted Shredder on the board. Like, is he gonna consecrate plus use the Paladin Hero Power to clear the 4/3?
No, but it does make a True Silver Champion. I mean, the minions that comes out of Piloted Shredder, not a lot of them, but I think 4 or 5 of them have 1 health or so, if not more than that. There's a few of them that can just die to the 1/1, so you do have to be a little careful, not for because he doesn't have card advantage, and Paladin has a really good, you know, means of wiping boards in very efficient manner against you as warrior, and you know, those 1/1s really tanking an entire Fire War Axe. That's perfect value there.
Yeah, trading a hero power for a weapon, it's pretty good to me.
Yeah, and that's Paladin's strength against Control Warrior in most matchups, in most circumstances.
Usually the Fire War Axe is a 1 for 2, but in this scenario it was a 1 for 0. Just
Hmm.
a really a flip in what Fire War Axe is usually.
Yeah. So in this case, I mean, if you develop Paladin Shredder, and I need to stop saying develop, if you play a Paladin Shredder on the board, you hope that your opponent doesn't have a weapon as a Paladin here, because if he does, then he's going to get a little bit of initiative. He's going to clear your Paladin Shredder with the trade, and then use a weapon to kill it. But you've seen one Fiery War Axe, so the likelihood of there being a second one right away is fairly slim. Well,
it's 100%.
Oh, God forbid. Okay, well, it turns out Fiery War Axe had a pretty high chance of being found again. But I think developing, playing the Paladin Shredder was still the proper play.
Yeah, I feel like if I were in Lifecoach's position and having seen my opponent just like throw out that Fiery War Axe, use it to clear 1/1s, I would have in my mind that possibly he's using this weapon haphazardly, somewhat haphazardly, because he might have a second weapon in his hand. That wasn't the case in this scenario, but I think it was something Lifecoach definitely would have considered.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that kind of thinking is the basis of poker, and in a lot of ways, I feel like Lifecoach would definitely fall into the category of players, obviously, since he's been a pro poker player in the past, that would consider those long-term plays, and he thinks that I think that he thinks that I have X or Y, and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
So he does play the second Fire War Axe. Ooh,
Snow Chugger.
that is actually going to be a pretty good thing for Lifecoach. He doesn't have to worry about the 4-1 in the immediate sense. It just buys him a bit of time.
Yeah,
oh, wow. This hand is incredible.
Yeah, with 2 Pilot Sky Golems and the Piloted Shredder frozen, Lifecoach could potentially consider coining out the first Sky Golem. But I feel like if he does that, the 4-1 will unfreeze eventually, and he doesn't have a really good way of dealing with it.
I think you'd have to at least Outdoor Peacekeeper on the following turn on the 4-1 if you wanted to get that value.
Yeah, that seems like what Lifecoach is going for.
Yeah, it's either that or Sludge Belcher, I guess.
Yeah, these piloted Sky Golems are kind of acting like mini Savannah High Mains, or not even mini. They're the same strength, but
yeah,
I guess just pseudo Savannah High Mains. And we all know how tough of a time Warrior has with dealing with high mains, right?
Yeah, it's the worst ever. And right now, with 2 Piloted Sky Golems in hand, Lifecoach really does have pretty good, pressure to put on the Warrior. But he's not threatened yet. I mean, he is on 26 health, 2 armor. He's got the option to shield slam the Piloted Sky Golem here if he wants to, and combine that with a cool Taskmaster play if necessary, with the Fiery War Axe to kill a 4 health 4-drop that might come out. But it's a bit of a gamble when you consider all the options that might come out of Piloted Sky Golem.
Yeah, I feel like one of the strengths of Piloted Sky Golem in this matchup against Warrior is that Warriors will at most run 1 silence in their deck, whether it be the Ironbeak Owl or the Spellbreaker. Yeah. And you really want to save that silence for the Tyrion, so you can't really... Speaking of silences, a Keeper of the Grove comes out.
But this is pretty much what Hosty wants to see in a way, because it's going to die the Paladin Shredder by letting it live, so you're okay with it. It's one of the better ones. I mean, Yeti would have been a problem, Senjin would have been a big problem, so in this case it's a bit better.
Yeah, I believe if Lifecoach is playing more of a standard deck, I think all of his big threats are in his hand right now. Both Pilot Sky Golems, one was used, the Dr. Boom and Tyrion, those are typically the strongest minions you can find in a Paladin deck.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I mean, the value of cards to come is going to be fairly low if that's the case, because it means if ever Hosty manages to deal with this hand from Lifecoach, the follow-up pressure might be pretty weak.
Now, how does Lifecoach deal with this 4-1? He definitely saw this scenario coming when he coined out the Piloted Sky Golem. Yeah. But maybe he didn't prepare for such a weak minion to come out of it. A 2-4,
yeah, you could get Stormwind Knights, and that would be even better. So, do you just play the Sludge Belcher or the second Sky Golem? I don't really know if the second Sky Golem being played here is a very strong play, but he didn't attack that 4-1, so he's got to plan on developing the board even further.
Okay, this is a bit strange. I guess he's saying that this 4-1's going to get a lot of value anyway. So I'm just going to give him the choice of some value. Like I guess if the Shredder trades into the Sky Golem, I guess at least the Keeper lives. That's his logic.
Yeah, because he didn't kill it last turn with a Cruel Taskmaster, so that might indicate that he simply doesn't have one.
Mhm.
I mean, that might be Lifecoach's line of thinking. If he could have killed my Keeper of the Grove, he would have done it last turn.
Mhm. Sky Golems are pretty interesting. Like there's let's see who comes out. Weedle and Oasis Snapjaw. Wow.
Snapjaw. Wow, that's a high health minion though. Not the most useful, but hey.
It's golden too, so it
Yeah, it opens up.
it opens
Yeah,
up.
best golden animation NA.
That's pretty funny that I think Lifecoach has one golden Sky Golem and one non-golden Sky Golem.
Yeah, he just opened packs. Whatever.
Yeah.
Wow, the True Server Champion here going to combine itself pretty well with those 2 minions on the board to clear the Sludge Belcher. And
Hey,
finally the Cruel Taskmaster play is made. And I think Lifecoach is being surprised by this because he thought to himself maybe earlier that if he had it, he would have done it the turn previously.
Yeah, now with the Spin Weedle on the board, the warrior can now target his hero power.
Oh yes, give power
on
shields to
minions.
everything.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it would. Well, yeah, okay, you know what? It'd be fine. It'd be perfectly acceptable. Oh my god, Big Game Hunter right now in Hosty's hand going to swing this round. Even more pressure coming out, but there hasn't been a consecration found, no equality, none of that, and Lay on Hands is there, Tyrion is there.
Yeah, you can see kind of the strength of this new type of warrior. It's more minion focused, so it actually can fight for board a bit more with the Paladin player. It just doesn't rely 100% on weapons. And this is a very interesting board from the warrior player. Definitely not what you would see like a month ago.
Well, what I find interesting is that warrior has gone the way of mid-range in a small way. It's starting to add, as you said, more minions, which is indicative of a mid-range playstyle. Instead of being full control, where nothing else but, big legendaries are played, now they try to fight off in the mid-game a little bit more, and that gives them a bit of a better matchup across the board, and their weakness, which was Paladin in the past, is getting contested a little bit due to that.
Yeah, a lot more decks are just becoming more mid-range. Like Hunter is it moved a bit. Originally there were only aggro Hunter decks, but it switched to mid-range. Warrior now they were very controlled, but now it's switching more to mid-range. Everything is just kind of homogenizing a little bit.
Yeah. So Lifecoach here lost his Dr. Boom and the Boom bots. There was an unfortunate. There was a somewhat lucky roll for Hosty here. If the Steam Wheel Sniper had been hit for 3 instead of 2, he wouldn't have been able to kill a second Boom bot. So that would have been a bit problematic for him, but it turned out to be just fine.
This Snapjaw is so annoying right now. Probably one of the most annoying minions for the warrior because it has such high health, but you don't really want to use your spells against it because it feels so weak to shield slam or execute a 2-attack minion.
Yeah, most definitely. How do you feel about just shielded mini bot and True Server Champion hero power? Or do you think Tyrion should come out already?
I think Tyrion is always a strong play. Yeah, I think Tyrion is pretty good here actually. Even if I ignore the warrior's hand, I mean if I saw the warrior's hand, I would know he has no way to clear this Tyrion. He has no silent. But just regardless of that, just looking at the board from the warrior now, Tyrion, how is he gonna trade into Tyrion? He basically has to sacrifice everything, and then still he needs one more damage from his hand.
Yeah, to do the execute play.
Yeah,
wow.
Tyrion puts Hosty in such a bad position right now.
Yeah, that was a really nice call from Lifecoach. I mean, Tyrion is essentially Dr. Boom 1.0, in that if you have the mana, just play him. It's a mistake that I've personally had problems, wrapping my head around that because I always felt like Tyrion was so weak to so many things. I mean, they might, kill him and ooze my weapon. They might have Black Knight. They might. But if they don't, the payoff is so massive that there's no reason really just to not play Tyrion right away.
So you said that Tyrion is Dr. Boom 1.0?
Well, okay, I'm exaggerating. I mean, if you have the mana cost, then just play him. That's kind of where... That's the analogy I was trying to make. But
by your logic, wouldn't Tyrion be like Dr. Boom, beta? Dr. Boom and beta.
In beta,
right?
yeah. Okay,
beta
sure.
testing.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why they felt comfortable afterwards with Dr. Boom. They're like, you know, Tyrion also works the same way. Alright, so we have the Aldor Peacekeeper here being able to fully negate the attack power of Dr. Boom, so that is probably going to be in the range of Lifecoach's play this turns. At least I wouldn't doubt so.
He could use a True Silver Champion charge to clear something else, such as the Big Game Hunter.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you could use Tyrion and the Oasis to kill the 1-2 that comes from the slime. Then you Aldor the 7-7 and use True Silver to kill BGH maybe.
Yeah, the problem with using a True Silver is that there's a very strong possibility that you're going to get the Ashbringer next turn. So if that happens, you're going to overwrite your True Silver and lose one charge to your weapon that you don't really want to do.
Would it be really that big of a deal considering the card advantage that he's got and the lay on hands follow-ups?
Yeah,
I'm asking because I'm trying to figure out if the second charge from True Silver Champion is really that crucial to his current
yeah, you bring up a very good point. But I feel like, okay, True Silver Champion, I guess he assesses that the True Silver charge isn't really that important.
Yeah, and I mean, how does the Warrior deal with this? He has to use an Execute at least to get that 6-6 out of the way.
I mean, Harrison Jones would be a pretty good draw.
Oh, Harrison Jones would be massive here.
Nope, it's a Death Spite.
Yep, not at all what you want to see in this case. But there is a Sneezed Old Shredder here for Hosty, so that's another threat that might help out. I mean, you do want to combine it with Kel'Thuzad, though, most of the time.
I guess the play here is execute, and then you could either... Well, you execute, you run a Boombot in, and then you see where it lands, then decide from there. You could either Death Spite or Sneasel Shredder, I guess, is another potential play. And Sneasel Shredder is probably one of the stronger plays. Like, I mean, you could, even though the Warrior is kind of fallen behind, if a Kel'Thuzad or like a Tyrion comes out of the Sneasel Shredder, then you're back in the game again.
Yeah, and this is not the best Boombot hit, but at least it doesn't hit Tyrion itself. Ooh.
Okay, this is pretty good, actually. I didn't think of this. Death Spite. You can
Death
save
Spite
your
would have to be
execute.
combined with minions.
I think Execute is a very strong option here because you've already seen 2 piloted Sky Golems, and you've seen the Dr. Boom. And typically those are the strongest threats from Paladin, so there's probably not anything better for... there's not anything better for you to execute.
Lifecoach, a breath of relief here at the sight of the absentee Harrison Jones, as his weapon will actually be useful for him in the follow-up. I saw his face just go from, oh yes, okay, that's fine. Because if Ashbringer gets removed and the Warrior comes back in the game, tempo-wise, it's much simpler if you've removed the biggest threat from the Paladin deck.
You know what's funny is that Lifecoach can actually deal with Kel'Thuzad coming out of Sneasel Shredder this
Sneasel
turn.
Shredder, yeah. It's one of the unique scenarios. But I don't know, I'd really like Lore Walker Cho.
You like him as a card, or you like him when it comes out of the Sneeze?
I like him when it comes out of the Sneeze Shredder. I think that's where... I mean, it's the only time I see it in competitive play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just doesn't exist, and
Well,
that bums me out.
you can also get it from the piloted Shredder. Right.
True, you're right, you're right.
I feel like when that happens, like the Lore Rocker Cho is better for your opponent than you, because you don't always have the option to kill off your own Lore Rocker Cho, but they do, so they can kind of control. Oh my god! This is the anti-Lifecoach card!
Oh my god, Lifecoach is going to lose this game!
Oh man, Lifecoach
goodness,
has to clear it immediately!
Yo, Lifecoach, hurry up!
Oh my god! Hosty has figured out how to counter Lifecoach.
He couldn't play his Sludge Bouncer and he facepalmed.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
This is actually countering.
This is insane! Oh, Lifecoach! We are so sorry. Oh goodness, but he's fine though. He's got it. Oh, is he fine though? Does he have to equality this just to keep playing properly?
Oh my god!
I can't believe
This is crazy.
Oh no!
This deck is insane.
This guy's deck is insane. Okay, does he have to equality? I don't think so. I think you just use your Ashbringer on the 5/5 and then drop Sludge Bouncer, shield the minibot, and forget about it. Stay calm and just shielded minibot. There we go.
We have to talk extra fast too, because this game is just going so much faster than we expected.
Yeah, and there's also 2 Acolytes of Pain, which are going to give card draw here for Hosty after he pops out his own Death Spite, which is going to be really important in this case. Get 2 card draws out of the Acolytes of Pain, that's going to be crucial And it's gonna take so long for him to get the card draw.
You know, Sludge Belcher is also has great synergy with Nozdormu because it forces your
takes
opponent
forever.
to watch. Yeah, you force your opponent to watch the animation of Sludge Belcher dying.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen this happen in a real game, you know how okay, no, he cannot possibly Iron Beak Owl this.
Well, you
Okay.
can also Iron Beak Alibi Nozdormu just to
Just to negate the
Yeah.
effect.
Is he, okay, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna negate the Acolyte of Pain instead.
That would have made no sense at all. It would have been amazing to witness, but it would have made no sense. All right, so Lifecoach keeping his calm, and you know what? I think he should do some stress testing with his partners, where they start the game when Nozdormu comes out, or they put a timer next to him. 15 seconds, you've got to playtest this. It's kind of like hardcore training for Hearthstone.
Oh my
And
god.
Lifecoach would get quite a bit of training out of that. This is incredible. I can't believe we're actually witnessing the Nozdormu metagame
And
against Lifecoach.
yeah, and out of all people, Lifecoach has to face Nozdormu.
Yeah, this is more fun than I could even believe. All right, so the True Silver Champion can finally get rid of Nozdormu, but he realizes that even though it's annoying, it's not a threat. It's a 1-4. Like, how much do you truly care about a 1-4 in this case? And he has to think fast because the rope is coming.
I think Nozdormu has survived on this board for like 4 turns or something. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, it means Lifecoach is able to keep his calm. It's like high pressure moment here for him.
This is his worst nightmare. And drawing cards with the Acolyte of Pain. The drawing card animation will also... Oh my god, another card draw.
Oh,
Will
this is
Hosty be
incredible.
able to play everything?
He'll be able to play at least the Paladin Shredder because you can queue actions faster than you can see them happen. But he won't be able to attack with the Acolyte. Oh, no, never mind. He is.
Wait. Okay, he got everything through.
Okay, everything worked out in the end. Okay, Hosty has incredible APM is what we can gather from this.
Yeah, you know what?
And now actually Lifecoach not in the as favorable a position as he was a minute ago.
Yeah, it's all because of the Nozdormu. He didn't get the Sludge
Yeah.
Belcher down. He doesn't have as much time to think to make optimal plays.
He's finally going to kill Nozdormu. I think he
Is he
can't,
gonna do
can't
it?
deal with this. I don't know. He has to. Come on, let's be honest. He can't play this game as long as Nozdormu exists. And there it is.
Wait, I
The
think...
Nemesis. I think that was not the optimal play, but
Yeah,
mean,
I
he
don't
had to
think
get
that's the
rid of it.
optimal play either.
It was not. It wasn't. Not by a long shot. But the panic got to him and he was like, you know what? I can't deal with this. There is no way. This is crazy. Oh, Lifecoach. Witnessing a moment of pure panic. Oh, I can't believe this. I cannot
Oh my
believe
god,
this.
and the rope actually goes down.
Yeah,
Naturally this time.
He is going to panic. This is incredible. Okay,
Now-
so...
Because he didn't True Silver down the 5-2, now that's a threatening presence on the board.
Yeah. Now that is really problematic. I mean, equality is going to give him the value that he wants, though. We still haven't seen the consecration, so...
Oh my god, Lifecoach, he looks so stressed right now, even after
Yeah.
Nozdormu died.
And I understand him at this point. I mean, he's not a player who's accustomed to those situations of having to play faster than he's comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh my god. Now Hosty, because of Nozdormu, and because of I guess the somewhat
The acolytes of
misplay,
pain, everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's kind of back
everything's
into the game right now.
Yeah, in a very good way too. I mean, there's still an anti-kill bot and a lay on hands to deal with, and the card draw of the warrior has been kind of used up. I mean, acolytes of pain have done what they had to, and they're now out of the way. So there's no more card draw coming in. Whereas Lifecoach might get what he wants, but do you really want to overdraw in a circumstance where you're almost nearly certain that you're going to hit fatigue eventually?
Yeah, this might just be a fatigue game. There's I'm not sure how many other threats that the warrior is running. Typically, in this type of warrior deck, there's the Sneasel Shredder and just the Kel'Thuzad and the Crom. Sometimes they also add Dr. Boom, even though it's a BGH target, because hey, why not? It's Dr. Boom.
Yeah. So Twitch chat is currently freaking out over Nozdormu, but I can understand that. It makes a lot of sense. They're still thinking about it, and they never will stop, I believe.
I turned on Twitch chat just to see the reactions. It's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, so the plays here, this is a strong top deck here from Lifecoach. Wild Pyromancer, going to allow him to just... Yeah, actually swinging back in this game very effectively.
Yeah, Wild Pyromancer lay on hands. What an excellent play.
Yeah, it gives
mean,
him card draw, and it negates the board. He doesn't even have to equality yet.
He also has the possibility of Wild Pyromancer and Muster for battle. That's always the combo.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, it gives you a 1 for Light's Justice, right?
Yeah, like basically with the Wild Pyromancer lay on hands, he's guaranteed to clear the board unless there's like a patient assassin comes out of the piloted treader.
Yeah, with the odds of that are fairly slim.
Do you know the odds?
No, I haven't calculated the entire roster of minions, but I think it's like there's about in the 35 to 40 minions range. So
Oh, Shadow Box.
on that specific.
I'm a little
Oh wow!
disappointed too.
Okay, wait. No, it's a friendly character gets healed. I thought
Yeah.
it would have triggered. Never mind.
I saw where you're going with that. But yeah, I thought out of all people, as the winner of Jeoparino, I thought you would know that.
Yeah, but I forget how many there are. I mean, post GVG, I haven't kept track. I mean, the
think there's like
Jeoparino metagame changed.
There's like 50 something of them.
Yeah, like I know there's baseline 35, and then there's a class ones as well. So.
Okay, now this game has gotten a lot less exciting because there's no more Naz Dormu.
Yeah, but at least it's. I mean, it's still an interesting game. But I feel like the Paladin is finally that Wild Pyromancer really just allowing Lifecoach to breathe a little bit. After the Nozdormu necessary removal from the True Server champion. It's funny how Lifecoach pinpointed the stress, and he was like, you know what? If this keeps staying, I can play optimally, but it's not going to work over the long term. So is this the first time Nozdormu comes up as a tournament play that just...
Almost certainly. I would bet you any amount of money that Naz Dormu has never come up in a high-level tournament game before.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think, if you know your opponent is Lifecoach in a set of matches, do you just tech in Nozdormu?
I mean, if Naz Dormu were like a lower cost card, like a 4 mana 4/4, and it's like almost viable, then yeah, sure, go for it.
But what if it was like a 7 mana 6/6, 6/7?
Well, we're just going into hypotheticals. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Who would go into that? Who would make that card?
Yeah, nobody would. I wouldn't. Good thing I'm not on the design team, guys. All right, so this is this is not a muster for battle turn.
I mean, funny thing is, muster for battle hero power quartermaster would actually be a pretty good play, but the Wild Pyromancer is just denying that completely.
Yeah, so you start with equality, then you do it.
Oh yeah, you have to equality to clear your own board first.
Of course, you want to make room for the.
You first, you have to attack though. You don't want to miss.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I can't believe I forgot about that. What a big misplay that would have been.
At this point, I'm really curious as to the number of cards in each player's deck.
Yeah, I wish I could see and hover over these things because we're not spectating like firsthand, so we have to rely on the admins. If they're watching the game right now, if they could hover over the decks, that'd be nice. Because I think Lifecoach has drawn quite a substantial amount of cards through 2 lay-on hands.
Yeah, but
Acolytes of Pain as well.
It's 2 lay-on hands versus 2 Acolytes of Pain plus a shield block. So
yeah,
it's probably fairly comparable.
One of the Acolytes of Pain was silenced,
right.
So only one of them drew, I think, 2 cards.
Yeah, one of them drew 2 cards.
Way, so,
yeah, 2 cards, and then you have the shield block. So
3 cards drawn.
Hosty has drawn 3 cards. Lifecoach has drawn 6.
Yeah, so I feel like Lifecoach is a little further ahead in the fatigue game, but he's also way ahead on the board.
A 6-mana shield slam is looking very tempting here.
Yeah, awkwardly enough, I feel like that might just be what he wants to do because he's not gonna get Grommash Hellscream to kill anybody anytime soon.
I believe this is actually the strongest minion left in Lifecoach's deck, so that's something we definitely have to consider.
Yeah. That's another pretty nice minion here. Paladin Shredder going to... Does Hosty run a Brawl in here?
Hosty, I mean, I haven't seen a Warrior deck in recent memory that doesn't run Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few... Like, Showa once had a Warrior that didn't run Brawl, like, a few months ago, but ever since then, like, everyone's been running Brawl for the last 2 months, I'd say, almost.
Yeah, I've seen quite a large amount of them. Now, Hosty's hand at the top here is getting turned into, I guess, a spectator mode glitched for whoever was spectating. Oh, what?
Oh.
Hearthstone disconnected? Oh, no.
Okay, we're trying to get back into the game.
Okay, the game didn't disconnect. I thought everything disconnected. Okay, the game is back on. All right, never mind. I was getting a bit worried that we just lost the entire Nosdormu setup here.
Yeah, that would have been like soul crushing to lose
Yeah.
that game.
This is the well, there's a Kel'Thuzad.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because the Wildfire Master is on the board, oh, is he gonna execute it?
if he does, it's a mistake. That's the only thing
Yeah.
preventing Lifecoach from dropping down the mustard. But
Yeah,
then
he
again,
always-
you know, through just natural hero powers, he could very easily do it. You know, there's a hero power Quartermaster next one. That's 3/3/3s. That's a lot.
Yeah, natural muster for battle. Like make your own muster for battle over 3 turns.
Yeah, it takes forever, and you don't even get Lice Justice.
Oh my God, Lifecoach is almost out of cards.
Ooh, Kel'Thuzad here, coming down with the Paladin Shredder and the 2/1.
That's a good one.
1/1. Yep.
Yeah, he could get a full shielded mini bot and a full piloted shredder back. It's pretty amazing.
Unsilenced, everything, full health. I think this would be a really strong play from him. And then a follow-up with Quartermaster would just seal the game. Although you are putting yourself in a position where Brawl is a bit more of a problem, so you at least have to keep Quartermaster, I feel, afterwards. Just to make sure that if they do Brawl the Kel'Thuzad off, Quartermaster Muster is still a play you can make.
Mm-hmm. Now, Lifecoach only has 2 cards left in his deck. And judging from this deck, it's pretty much exactly a copy of the deck that Savitz was using in his previous tournaments with Paladin. And I think the last 2 cards are something along the lines of Mind Control Tech, Owl, and Shade of Naxxramas. 2 of those 3.
Shade of Nax?
Yeah, Savitz has been replacing Mind Control Tech with Shade of Naxxramas in some tournaments.
Okay, I've seen Shade of Nax a long time ago in Paladin, but I haven't seen it of recent memory. It's been a while.
That's such a bad feeling as the opponent to see your opponent making bad trades.
And then KT
yeah.
comes out. Because you
Yeah,
know that's what's going to happen.
Exactly. Oh, Black Knight.
He actually was running it, and Tyrion already down though, so that is mostly a Yeti for 6 mana.
What's interesting about Black Knight is that, or just interesting about this entire deck in general, is that traditionally the weakness of Warrior is Druids, but with cards like Black Knight and with more mid-range creatures like the Piloted Shredder, and with targets that aren't BGHable like Sneasel Shredder, these are cards that can help you fight the Druid a lot more. This type of Warrior deck, it might have poorer matchups in other scenarios, but versus Druid, I think it's become a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like that's one of the things they played for, because the old Warrior builds were a little weaker to Druid. And this one is definitely a bit stronger. But now there's no removal coming down, and I think he was considering Gromming the 4/3 in the hopes of a Doomsayer, but he's going to try to drag it to Fatigue.
Oh, Consecration is his last card. Interesting. So there's no silences in... did he ever play a silence, Lifecoach?
No, not for the entire game that I've seen. No, well, there's one.
Well, there's the Owl. All right, I called it.
Yeah, but what if it had been Doomsayer here? What do you do? Do you just panic?
Is there any way for him to clear it? No, there's no way for him to clear his own Doomsayer. Well, right now, what Hosty is trying to do with that Black Knight play is he's trying to make his opponent, he's trying to get him to deal as much damage to the Black Knight as possible, and he's just stalling for, to draw the Brawl, essentially.
Yeah, just
Brawl
to be
is
able to get the
needs-
Brawl off and get as much value as you can out of it with KT on the board. The odds of KT surviving are going to be in the range of 15% after there's 7 minions on board. A little under that, but...
Trying to ask the admins, how many cards does Hosty have? Because that's really important for the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's taking a lot of damage every turn, so until Brawl is found... I mean, he should have 4 cards left, 3 to 4 cards left, as far as I can tell.
All right.
So this Death's Bite...
Death's Bite is not a card, but if things get dire, let's see how much damage is on board. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think that's pretty much game because... Wait, 17 damage? If he armors up, then
Consecration and Muster for Battle's Life Justice is going to do it, yep. It doesn't matter what happens. I think Lifecoach has the lethal next turn. I never thought Muster for Battle would be played for the 1 damage Life Justice lethal, but hey, that's the scenario.
Yeah, Life's Justice lethal, and this is just how GVG has worked. We get Naz Dormu in decks. We get Light's Justice being an actual weapon that people use.
Yeah, and it's actually surprisingly been very effective when you get it on curve with Muster for Battle. On its own, it's pretty mediocre, but as soon as you get it with 3 other 1/1s, then suddenly the value of it just increases drastically because you combine it with those 1/1s and you get yourself a lot of value. So is he going to try for the Doomsayer play on the Paladin Shredder?
Yeah, that's I hadn't considered that. That's what he's
not
got.
worth. He decides that this is not worth it.
That's actually that's actually a misplay. It was his only way out of the game.
It's a faint one, but I guess you have to take it once in a while. So that is lethal from Lifecoach. I believe, unless we've miscalculated, but I think he does have it with Consecration and Muster for Battle.
Yep.
Or even just double Consec. Doesn't even need the Muster.
Oh yeah, double Consecration.
That's less flashy, but it's just
that's pretty good.
Yep. So well played here for Lifecoach, taking the first game against Hosty, despite the Nose Dormu coming out of this needs old Shredder. Paladin very favored against Warriors still, and that